All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this is the last day of the course. And we'll be going through the presentations, the group presentations. Yeah, it has been a very good 6 weeks. I think we have been able to touch the issues we planned to do so. Okay, so and I hope that all groups are ready to make their presentations, and we have circulated the order of presentations for this evening. So please, we will start when it's time, but let me make a brief recap of what we have covered during this 6 weeks. Okay, so please remember to mute yourself when you are not speaking. All right, we started this course, which is reproducibility in scientific research. And I highlighted when we started the fact that we are a representation of various disciplines. We are a representation of various disciplines. So for that reason, it is possible that the specifics of each discipline is not emphasized or highlighted. It's not an intentional attempt to ignore the relevance of any discipline. So having such a diverse group, I think we need to find a meeting point. And I hope we have been able to achieve that. But if not, don't be disheartened. The key issue we have tried to cover in this course, if I am to summarize, is the need for research to be transparent, the need for research to be integrated with confidence, the need for what we do as scientists to be done with a lot of consciousness. And that is because every piece of research we engage in, it's an awareness that what we do has a contribution to play in how our societies, our disciplines, and our career works. So research becomes a vehicle for transformation. We need to be aware of that. So this course emphasizes that need. We need to be aware of that. We need to appreciate it. We need to have it in our consciousness. Currently, this is a grant writing period, mostly grant writing period in Sweden. So during the spring, between now and June, we'll be writing much of our grants. Okay. I have one submitting the end of this month. And one of the things that, for those who have attended our grant writing course, one of the things that will come into play in the writing process is that the funder will require you to outline the impact of the research project you want to do. What is the value? I am in the field of medicine, epidemiology, public health. What is the value for clinical practice? What is the value for the society? What is the value for the field? What impact is your research going to do? And so, contemplating on how to formulate my grant application, I have to reflect on the value. Those who are giving this money, we only give to projects that have value. I'm using this as an example to emphasize the fact that as a researcher, regardless of the field you are into, regardless of your discipline, you need to be aware, ultimately aware, that your research has a role to play in transformation of our society, in transformation of our field of research. Without this awareness, then it is really difficult for us to do things transparently, reliably, because we do not have the ultimate goal of what our research. So if we're aware of this, you will discover that many of the case studies we went through wouldn't have happened because the researchers were aware. All right. So that is the first thing. Take home message you should have from this course. And so with that awareness, the next thing that we should be doing now is, how do I formulate my research? How do I design my research project with this awareness in a way that it reflects value, in a way that it adheres to standards, in a way that others who are doing similar things with me can have confidence and can verify what I have done. How can I do that? So that is the second thing that you should be aware of. So the big word we have there, reproducibility, in summary, is creating an awareness in us of the need for the research we do and the need to do our research in a transparent manner. If you're able to capture this, you have captured quite a lot from this course. And so all the gaps we have filled through the weeks we have gone through are just different skeletons to fill that structure. And so we started with the definition of reproducibility. We gave different definitions, gave different synonyms of what it is all about. That a piece of research, if it's done and then another person tries to do the same thing, using the same approach we have used, and it's not able to derive the result we have derived, then it's questionable. Something is wrong somewhere. Something is wrong somewhere. So reproducibility is that process through which we can be able to verify what we have done.
ان الدراعات كل ما تطول كل ما الدراسه تبقى ضعيفه.
Today is the last day. I thought that we already know that you just mute when you come in. Okay? Maybe we are very, very excited with what is happening today. But otherwise, please just mute yourself so that we can do this. We can do this easily. Okay? All right. So when a piece of research is done and it is not reproducible, then you see that it increases the chance for the different misconducts we saw through the case studies we reviewed. Right. Okay. So from definition, we looked at different types of misconduct that are there: fabrication, falsification, plagiarism, authorship, conflict of interest, and so on and so forth. One of my PhD students during the week came to me with a paper he has been working on, and he wanted me to decide the authorship. And I have a guy who did postdoc with me some years back, and after his postdoc, he worked a few years. Then he got a job. I actually like his work. He's a mathematician. He's a programmer. He's a data scientist in essence. So he implements some AI algorithm to my project. So he is the strength of our computational aspect. So he helped, since he got another job, so what I did was to give him a contract. So not employing him, but he having a contract with me so that he can support my PhD students, all right, in their computational work. So he has helped this student in doing that. And this student came to me and was asking about the authorship, okay? And because this, my former postdoc, who is a mathematician, has done a lot in the analytical aspect, okay? And the way we usually do that is that in the authorship order, he will naturally be the second author after the PhD student. He will be the second author. So the PhD student was surprised when I didn't put him a second, not third, not fourth, not fifth, not sixth. I think he came around 8 or 9. And of course, the paper has a long list of authors. And she said, but he did the analysis. I said, yeah. He did the analysis, but the analysis he has done is not on the basis of employee or a collaborator. He did the analysis on the basis of contract. Okay, meaning that for this work, he was paid to do that work. So the priority in the order has now shifted. Okay, the priority in the order of authorship has now shifted. And then he also has an additional burden. And the additional burden he has is that when this paper is being submitted, he needs to declare a conflict of interest. Okay? Because being paid for that job could, in one way or the other, serve as a conflict in the way the job is done. For instance, somebody may prioritize because the job, his pay comes when he delivers. So you deliver this one, you are paid. Okay? So somebody who is not careful can easily manipulate the system because these models he's fitting are very, very demanding. Demanding to the capability of the machine that he's using. Sometimes they can take a week to run. And so if he's in need of money and he's not careful to do his work, there can be some manipulation of the process. All right. And of course, he's a very clean scientist. And so in that case, he has a conflict of interest to declare. So just for you to be aware of that, when you are doing academic work and you are paid for that work, you have to declare the conflict of interest. That is international standard. That is why many times when scientists do things that are related to science, they're not paid. But if they are paid, sometimes you work for the industry, sometimes it becomes conflict. Okay, so we went through different types of research misconduct. We looked at the ethos of scientific research by Robert Merton. We looked at case studies in reproducibility, which he presented, different personalities we reviewed who have done quite a lot of damage to the scientific community, which were bad examples. We should not emulate. That is why we have had this course to emphasize the need for us to follow the standards in implementing our research. And then, of course, we looked at economics of reproducibility. It can lead to wastage of resources, and so on and so forth. The impact of irreproducible research or irreproducibility, both to the researcher, both to the field, how society will view research and scientists, the career of those who have done it, and so on and so forth. It can be quite devastating. So our attention was called to that so that we will avoid such examples. All right. We looked at causes of reproducibility crisis and research misconduct, and we discussed their solutions, and which you went to the breakout sessions, discussed and profiled lots of solutions on how this can be handled, especially we focus to the African context. Then we went through the steps to reproducible research, the key initiatives that are there, the need for us to think reproducibly at each stage of the research, from question formulation to dissemination. All right. And at the stage of dissemination, we had what we called the great debate. We had, I think that was 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Then last week we had some examples from 3 of my PhD students who came to share their experiences, their workflows, examples of how they think about reproducibility. And one thing that is important is, see, all that we have discussed during this course are doable. They can easily be implemented. When there is a will, there will be a way, as they say, because each of these students, when they joined me, they were actually not aware of many of these things. They were not doing it. It was not part of their thinking. And so when they join me, each of my PhD students, when they join me, what I do in the beginning is to ensure that they enroll in the courses I teach. There are 3 courses I teach to the PhD students here. I ensure that they enroll, because I know once they have gone through those courses, it will sharpen their experience a lot and their motivation to do their research in the right way. And so each of them went through that process and then started implementing the steps and then moving on. And it has been great. It has been great to see how they have developed, how they are loving it. It makes life easy, very, very easy for you as a scientist. And I hope that after this course, you would also move in that direction to begin to implement this. Okay, I will stop here. Let me hear if there is any question through. Any question through the course. And the other thing that we implemented here was that at each day we met, we had the nuggets, which were actually good spices to emphasize the things we have been going through during the course. Okay, any question? Anyone who has any question? Just raise your hand if you have any question.
Sorry, sir. Mine is just a remark, not a question, actually.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was saying that mine is just a remark, not a question.
Yeah.
To say that the course has been very interesting and we have benefited a lot from the course.
Yeah, we live. If it's a remark about the nature of the course, we keep it to the end of the present later on. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So we open the
Okay,
channel at the end of today, at the end of the presentations, and then you can give your remarks later on. All right. Okay. So, but if there is any question now related to the content, please, and if there is any remark related to the content, if there is anything you want to clarify, please just let me know.
I think you didn't say anything about the projects. Are the projects not important as part of the course?
Yeah, that is what we're having today. So that is why I have not mentioned, because that is what we are doing today.
Okay, sir.
The projects are
Okay.
today. That is our agenda for today. All right. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
let me move on. Okay. Some announcement. We have the second edition of the ASFI Science Seminar Series coming up. This year we are working on the theme Innovation in Research, Africa's Panacea. Innovation in Research. And this is very important. And for those who attended the first edition, I think you could already see the importance of research innovation. It's not just a theory. It's not just a theory. If we are to move forward in what we do, then we need to think innovatively in our research. And so this year, we are dedicating to discussions on the issues of innovation in research. I believe for myself and for every one of us who is here that this is something that you should not take for granted. Find yourself in these forums, gain the knowledge, gain the experiences that you can begin to implement. Like I said earlier, please, if you are not speaking, mute yourself. I have sent out a few people from the room, and I don't like doing that. So just mute yourself when you come in. Just mute yourself so that the noise is not distracting us. Okay. So the second edition is Innovative Research in Africa, the Urgencies. And we have an experienced speaker who will be taking us through on the 25th of February. The registration announcement has been made. So please register yourself and join us. Register yourself. Dr. Abiodun Benga Ilori will be taking us through. She's joining us from the University of Lagos. She's an associate professor there, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, and the acting director of the Innovation and Technology Management Office at the university as well. So she will be helping us to go through this edition. Okay, so please register yourself, spread the news to your colleagues, and let's join the discussion. Okay, Dr. Warren's research tips and tricks continues. Yes, this time it will be beginning of March, 1st of March. Last time we announced it was to be on the 23rd of February. Unfortunately, that is not feasible from our side, so we have just moved it a week ahead. And so likely we will have two tips and tricks in March, beginning of March and the end of March, since they usually come at the end of March. What scientists do, a call for special virtues. And we started with who are scientists in the first edition. And we are running with the theme this year, Scientists, Success, Virtues. So please find a way to join us on the 1st of March. Okay, application is still open. It's still open to the course, systematic reviews and meta-analysis. After attending the reproducibility in scientific research course. If you have not attended the Systematic Reviews 1, this is another course that you wouldn't want to miss by any means. You wouldn't want to miss by any means. I promise you that. It's a promise. And that is why for this course, we usually teach it during a week. So we focus in that week. We focus in that week. We don't do it like we have done the reproducibility one, taking it over several weeks. We do it during that week. So you need to have time because it's so intensive. At the end of that week, a lot of things will happen to you. You will discover that there is an advancement in what you know. There are things you have learned. There are several tools in this course that you need to buy into. You will learn to use, all right? Based both on the internet, based on the software level. So it's a multitask course. And yeah, I think you will love it. So please register, don't fail to take part in that. And then the research quality, productivity, and impact is another course I think is so foundational, like the reproducibility course is so foundational. This is a course that will take you through the trajectory of how to think quality and impact throughout your research process. Quality and impact throughout your research process, from question formulation to publishing and communicating your research. And I promise you, we had the first edition last year. It was fantastic. And the application is open. It's a very low budget course that if you miss it, you don't just want to take it. Missing it will not be, oh, I can't afford it. Even though I know some people will still complain they can't afford, but it's very low budget cost, and I believe that you can join us in it. All right. Now it's over to group number 8 to give us their nuggets. We had discussion during the week, and they promised that they will be here to give their nuggets, and I believe that they have kept to that promise. So group number 8 is now over to you. You have 5 minutes to tell us what you have. Group number 8. Who is presenting for group number 8? Please, let's see your hand and make it snappy, please. Group number 8. All right, Gustavus, please, go ahead.
All right, good morning, good evening, good members. Again, we are back.
Good evening.
Sorry about last time. Hope you can hear me well.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. This is about systematic fraud. Again, it's group 8 presenting. The author of this was Australian, and she imagined herself, I think, working in a university in Australia. They are surrounded by an ocean, but she doesn't see it. That's why we are quoting here of an ocean. But the point here is that most of the talk centers about unconscious bias and ill-informed sloppiness, and rarely do they talk about conversations about intentional deception. Yeah, the conversation about intentional deception are difficult. Yeah. So, and yet there is a lot of contamination in research literature and incorrect research results, and yet it never comes out. So the author says that it's unlike most fraud research practices, fraud actively evades detection. The author says that fraud is also overlooked because the scientific community has been unwilling to have a frank and open discussions about it. So some of the possible causes are put here. The author discovered that some papers, especially coming from China, had been written about a gene, and all of these all were different authors based in China, but contained shared and strange irregularities. They also used highly similar language and figures. The author suspects that these papers came from a third party. In Africa, we call them machineries, working for profit, fueled by pressure on authors to meet unrealistic publication expectations. Such operations have been identified also by investigative journalists. Such third parties are targeting less well-known human genes to produce low-value and possibly fraudulent papers. So the author asked why. She wondered why or how are such manuscripts, how could they slip through a peer review process? Is it possible that manuscripts could be distributed to different author groups and submitted over similar time periods across many low impact journals to avoid detection? And indeed, that's a very, very possibility where papers are circulated in parallel to avoid detection. So the author made a contribution to such a problem, came together with a company called the Informatician, and they developed a tool called Seek and Blasting to identify such papers on the basis of wrongly identified nucleotide sequences. As a result of their work, they were able to uncover dozens of papers and resulted in 17 retractions with several investigations still pending. However, although papers have been retracted, the author knows of no formal accusations of misconduct. Other authors have said experiments were performed. Experiments were performed as stated, but the results were simple and reliable. The author could point out unexplained similarities, but not prove that the flagged papers came from third parties. So there was some level of doubt on her allegations. So some might argue that my efforts are inconsequential and that the publication of potential fraudulent papers in low impact journals doesn't matter. The author suggests that we can't afford to accept this argument. Such papers claim to uncover mechanisms behind a swath of cancers and rare diseases. They could derail efforts to identify easily measurable biomarkers and use predicting disease outcomes or whether the drug will work. So they can be misleading if we continue with such. I mean, that's the point. The author suggests that we can't afford to accept this argument. I think this is a repetition there. Let me move on. Anyone trying to build on any aspect of this sort of work would be wasting time, specimens, and grant money. When the author have raised the issue, the comments, when the author raised this issue, the comments, they go to where, yes, you are working on that fraud business, almost as a way of closing the discussion down. That was discouraging. people's reactions suggest that delving out of problems in literature is a frivolous activity done for personal amusement, or that is vindictive, pursued to bring down papers and the authors, that you are being malicious by doing that, you shouldn't do it. The author wonders, why is there such enthusiasm for talking about faulty research practices, yet there
Please
is
finish in 1 minute, sir.
to discuss
1 minute.
deliberate action. So in conclusions, fraudulent papers from community norms, it is more uncomfortable to think about organized fraud that is so frequently associated with the country. Unfortunately, this becomes a vicious cycle. Yeah. Thinking and talking about systematic fraud is essential to solving the problem rising. So the recommendations are: efforts to police literature need to be valued and highly as publications of original data. It is more than ironic that systematic fraud is itself understudied. Yeah. Unfortunately, this becomes, I beg your pardon, let me go to next here. Institutions need to implement faculty evaluations that are alert to fraudulent produced papers, with systems to discipline those found guilty of serious misconduct. Journals also need to devote more resources to monitoring the literature that they hope to produce. All right. Journals also must respond to errors and be quick to investigate. They should encourage peer reviewers to be alert to the possibility of fraud and to describe reasonable suspicion. We create literature that we deserve. We must act against unrecognized threat of valid science. Thank you very much, Prof.
All right. Thank you, group number 8, for finally giving us your nugget. Okay. The time has come for the group presentation. And I believe that all the groups should be ready now. All the groups should be ready. The instructions have been sent out on what is required, how to make the presentation. So each group needs a presenter, or if you want all, you have shared it across your group members, that is fine. But you have to know that the time allotted to you is 10 minutes. Then we will discuss. Okay, so we start with group number 5. Let me see who is presenting for group number 5. And as group number 5 is presenting, group number 3, group number 7, group number 1, please get ready. All right, group number 5, who is presenting for group number 5? Please, you need to do this quick so that we don't skip you. We don't skip you and go to another group, because we are not returning back to those who are not presenting. Group number 5, please. Let me see who is presenting for group number 5. Group number 5, are you ready or you're not ready? Okay. I seem not to hear anything from group number 5 members. Okay. Let's go to group number 3. Is the next in line?
Hello? Yeah, Prof. Group number 5, can I try to do a...
Are you the one presenting for group number 5? Are you the one presenting for group number 5, Simon?
We are 2. We both have internet challenges, but I'll try my... I'm sure. Yes, please. Let me present. So, group number 5, we were given the task to work on gender gaps in researchers' perception of the competitiveness.
Simon, I think Simon, I think your network is so bad. We can't hear you. Your slide is giving problems to share. So I think we will. You have to, group number 5, please find a way to get somebody who has stable network to present for you. Let's go to group number 3. Let me see who's presenting for group number 3. Group number 3. Please raise your hand if you are presenting for group number 3. Who is presenting for group number 3? Who is presenting for group number 3? Okay, so let's go to group number 7. Who is presenting for group number 7? All right, Clara, please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Good day, all. My name is Clara Kwan from Group, and our topic is on. Is the topic assessment of the satisfaction level of African researchers in terms of their personal research outputs according to regional differences. A general objective was to help improve the quality of research in Africa, and the specific objectives include to assess the level of satisfaction of researchers with the products of their research. 2, to assess the level of satisfaction of researchers at the institutional level. And lastly, to assess the level of satisfaction of researchers at the national level. Background. African countries are faced with difficulties in research, such as insufficient funding and poorly equipped laboratories. Despite this, African governments have realized that research is the key to strengthening human capital and accelerating growth. According to reports by World Bank, the quality and quantity of scientific publications have improved considerably in sub-Saharan Africa. Next. My God. Next. Next person. A study carried out by the Association for the Development of Education in Africa, in collaboration with Cambridge University in 48 African countries on research into education system, produced the following results. 1, education research is mostly conducted in Nigeria Ghana, Ethiopia, and Botswana. 2, a worrying trend of a gradual decrease in the number of female authors from an already low base from 29% in 2010 to 2013 to only 23% in 2020. 2019 to 2020. Next. I'm so sorry for this, please. Methodology. So sorry, please. It went network went off from my side. Study setting was the study was done in Africa. Population, all selected participants research course organized by ASFI, and the targets were African researchers. Inclusion criteria: those who agreed to participate in the study. Also, any participants who completed the My Research and Me online questionnaire. Next. Data collection. Data collection 2. The online questionnaire, that's the Google form, was used. Data organization and Microsoft Excel used for that. Data analysis. Microsoft Excel was also used for data analysis. The ASFI group selected, that's results now, selected 295 candidates for the Reproducibility in Scientific Research course. The online questionnaire was completed by 195 participants, 8 of whom were excluded. 2 participants were outside of Africa, and 6 had incomplete data. Data for 186 participants were analyzed. There's a chart showing the number according to gender of participants, and from here we can see that 98 males, that's 51.06%, and 91 females, 46.92% participated. Next. This chart shows the age of participants. Next. This chart shows the breakdown of the participants according to regions. And this one shows the satisfaction. It shows the breakdown of the respondents according to their satisfaction with the current level of research. And from here, we can see that 28 of these respondents strongly agreed, 78 disagreed, 37 were neutral, 42 agreed, and 6 strongly agreed to being satisfied with the current level of their research output. Next. This chart shows the satisfaction level of the respondents according to the regions now. Next. Next. This shows the satisfaction of the researchers with the current level of their institution's research output. And here we can see that 11 of the respondents strongly disagreed, 64 disagreed, 47 were neutral, 49 agreed, and 15 strongly agreed to being satisfied with the current level of the institution's research output. Next. There's also the satisfaction level according to regions. Next. There's a chart that shows the satisfaction of the respondents to the country's research output. And here we can see that 21 of the respondents strongly disagreed, 56 disagreed, 56 were neutral, 42 agreed, and 11 strongly agreed to being satisfied with the current level of their country's research output. Next. There's still the breakdown of that discussion. More men than women took part in the study. The 48.92% women is far higher than 23% reported in the World Bank study. 54.3% of respondents were not satisfied with their current level of research output. Except North Africa, where 12 out of 31 respondents were satisfied with their research output. More respondents in the other regions were not satisfied with their research output compared with those who were satisfied. One of the key findings of this research is the existence of differences in satisfaction levels among participants across different regions. Next. West Africa and South Africa had the highest number of participants who were not satisfied in their personal, institutional, and national levels of research output. North African countries were relatively more developed and may have well-established research institutions and funding mechanisms. Next. It is essential to acknowledge the implication of these regional differences in satisfaction levels. Addressing the disparities in resources and support across regions is crucial for creating an enabling environment where researchers across the continent can thrive and contribute meaningfully to scientific advancement. This may involve interventions such as increased funding for research in underdeserved regions, capacity building, and collaboration across regions. Next. The assessment of satisfaction level among African researchers in terms of their personal research output reveals notable regional differences, with North Africa expressing the highest level of satisfaction. Further research is required to identify the specific factors contributing to satisfaction levels among African researchers and to identify interventions in disparities across regions. These are references. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, group number 7. Okay, so the floor is open for comment, questions from other groups to group number 7's presentation. Please, if you want to comment, raise your hand, please. Feedback to the presentation. All right, I have Oche Innocent, please kickstart.
All right, thank you. Good evening once more. Good presentation.
Good evening.
Yes, my only observation, what I noted while they were presenting, was some strong assertions and data, especially at the background level, for World Bank, for example, that were not properly cited in terms of the date. And the presenter was speaking to the frequencies at the data level, sort of speaking to the percentages. But on the whole, I think it's a good presentation and work, except for these two obvious observations that I noted while they were presenting. Thank you.
Yep. Group number 7, was the comment clear to you? I didn't get the comment regarding the data World Bank issue. What was the main issue? All right, I have I have Eunice, please.
Thank you, Prof. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. I appreciate Clara for a wonderful presentation, very articulate. I was trying to follow up to get how they integrated reproducibility in the process of their research, and I didn't get it clearly. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they can re-articulate it for us. Thank you.
All right, there's a question to group number 7. How did you integrate reproducibility practices? Because, yeah, if I just add to that comment, which is the fundamental comment for this presentation, this course is about reproducibility, transparency, not just about the result, but transparency in how the results were achieved. Now, from what you have presented, can I take your research process and repeat the same thing you have done and get the same results? If that is yes, how do I do that? How do I know what you have done? How do I obtain your processes? We didn't hear anything about that. So there was no aspect of reproducibility that we witnessed during your presentation, but you can respond to group number 7.
Okay, so in our work under methodology, we did state the inclusion criteria and the non-inclusion criteria. We said that all the participants, their response were used, but then we had some exclusions. Those that did not participate in the study, those that did not agree, and then those that their answer were not consistent with the question asked. And then on the whole, we had 8 exclusions. It was stated in our methodology. I don't know whether my answer is clear.
Yeah, your answer is clear, but let me hear from Eunice, please. Are you satisfied with that?
Yeah, Prof, she has given an aspect. It is about what they did, and she has given what they did. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have another hand. Saratu, please.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Just to add to what has been said, the methodology I think wasn't quite explicit, and maybe I think that's why we're having the comments, because the inclusion and exclusion are one aspect of the methodology, and it's actually that part that really helps to bring out how the process went before the results were achieved. So in terms of the study design, the data analysis, types of type of analysis that was done were missing, though we saw from the results, we could infer on the result, what kind of analysis were done. But there are other essential aspects that would have helped to really guide us as regards how we also can reproduce if we were to follow your study and get it based on, of course, what we're doing, get exactly your results. So those aspects were missing, even in terms of study design. Those inclusion and inclusion are part of just population or selection of sample and all that. So all those other essentials were missing in terms of your process. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. Group number 7, I think that was the major thing that was missing from your presentation, which was really the crucial thing actually. Because as we went through, I think that was 3 weeks ago, to highlight how reproducibility should be embedded in every aspect of the research. And as I mentioned during the revision this evening, the key thing is that when you have done your research, somebody can repeat what you have done. Now, what you have done, it's impossible to repeat it because you gave us only the product, but not the process. And the process will include some of the things we mentioned. First of all, we said each group needs to develop a protocol, and the groups developed a protocol. But you missed that aspect. You didn't tell us that you developed a protocol. You didn't tell us that you followed your protocol. You didn't tell us whether you wrote codes to analyze the data. Are the codes available somewhere? Can we use it if you want to perform and see if what you have done has been done well? Is there a possibility to do that? So this figure, if you can remember it, is thinking reproducibly, thinking transparently throughout the research process. Those who present first will always have issues because those who have not presented now can go back and make amendment before they present. But for everyone, the main issue with the group project is to allow you in this piece of research you have done to think and integrate the aspect of reproducibility in your research in your project. All right. So that
Thank you,
was
sir.
a very crucial part that was missing from your presentation. Okay. Thank you for group number 7.
Sorry, sir, I said it was a serious omission. It was actually there, but we checked it and went to the topic. So I'm sorry for that. It was actually prepared. It was among the first set of things there, but we went straight to the topic and then the presentation. So sorry for that, please.
All right. So what you do now, and there are two aspects of this task: the report each group has written and the presentation. So group number 7, later on you can send that to us, not necessarily today, but do that during the week before the end of the coming week, so that we can have those documents to share with the other groups as well.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. The next is group number 1. Group number 1, are you ready? Group number 1, are you ready? Who is presenting for group number 1? Who is presenting for group number 1? Please raise your hand. Let's see who is presenting for group number 1. Okay, Abdul Hamidu, please. The floor is yours. Abdul Hamidu, are you speaking?
Yeah,
This is
yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me? Am I audible enough, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our protocol, or sorry, our proposal is on basically on to what extent do current research attitude in African institution contribute to overall competitiveness in the academic landscape. Now, we don't want to take time explaining the value of the research and the rest of them. We'll go forward and explain that we all agree that this issue of research and the attitude toward research and competitiveness is very important. So we cited some authors emphasizing that, and then recognizing also that there are inadequacies in terms of research in Africa. And then, so this study is meant to explore the extent to which current research attitude in African institutions contribute to overall competitiveness in the academic landscape, by identifying the factors that influence the research attitude and examining their impact on competitiveness. This research will provide a valuable insight for institutional leaders and other stakeholders in improving research in Africa. We did some literature review, Sawe 2004, Akura 2019, Kuwanda 2017, and the rest of them. Now, then when we come to our methodology, we deem it fit to have a research design, and the research design is a survey research design, but that is combining both quantitative and qualitative research. That means we'll get first-hand data, and then we'll also get secondary data so as to complement our research. In terms of the data collection, we already accept that the data has been collected. The primary data is the questionnaire that was given to us that was graded on Likert scale. And then that was the data that was collected. And then we now look at some other literatures to back up our whatever assumption we're having. Now, in terms of the data analysis, sorry, I'm presenting the wrong slide, but I will explain further later. The data was collected, and then we cleaned the data. We follow the process of cleaning the data. That is, we transform the data from the Excel sheet. We now code it at the Excel sheet level, and then we now export it to SPSS. When we took it to SPSS, we tried to find out for outliers and missing data. Then from there, we now run the frequency, as we can be able to see in the table that we are going to see very soon. Then we also did a reliability test, and then the data was divided into three: the dichotomous data and the dependent variable and the independent variables, so that it can be subjected, and then the data will be subjected to quantitative analysis, in which we are going to use we use simple t-test, ANOVA, and multilinear regression in order to help identify the patterns, trend, and relationship between research attitude and competitiveness. Let me just quickly go to the appendix to show us the data. Now, this is the respondent. This is a frequency table by gender that was subjected from the SPSS 22. The output is 2024. You can see the male is 97, while the female is 96 in terms of the frequency. And then in terms of, we subjected the data into regions. because the countries are many. So we subjected the data into regions. And in West Africa, we have 112. In Central Africa, we have 11 countries. In East Africa, we have 18 countries. In North Africa, we have 37, not countries, sorry, respondents. 37 respondents in North Africa. In South Africa, we have 13. And then we have 2 people from Europe. So all of them were captured in terms of our data. And then we now also subject the data to the degree obtained, because we want to see, when we come to run the data, I want to see, is there any association between the type of degree that somebody has obtained and then the type of his research attitude. So because of that, we realize that we have bachelor degree, we have 23 respondents, master 77, doctorate 91, then postgraduate diploma 2, making the total of 193. We further, when we get this frequency table, we further subjected the data into reliability tests. And then the reliability test, look at the case processing summary, which is very good, no missing value, and the rest of them, and no outlier. And the Crombat alpha is indicating that it has a 0.901 based on the 3 items on those on the scale we measure here. You look at the scale we measure here. The variables are RCRC1, RCRC2, RCRC3. So this is the Crombat alpha of the result, which is indicating that it is fit for analysis. Then we also took another set of variables which include MCRC1, MCRC2, and MCRC3. And then they gave us the reliability value is also 0.875, which is also all right. Then we took the other set of variables. We also got the reliability value of 0.847. Now, this shows that when we come to do the analysis, we are in a better position to now do the analysis, because all the variables are fit for analysis. And then what we intend to do is want to run the ANOVA, and then we want to run the multiple linear regression in order to see if there is an association between the type of degree somebody has and then his knowledge of research, his attitude towards research. And then we also want to run ANOVA in terms of the gender basis, and then in terms of understanding what is the attitude of, what is the research attitude of members. They also want to run analysis in Africa in terms of based on region. So which part of the region has, for example, more likely to exhibit competitiveness in terms of the research attitude. So this kind of summarize what we intend to do. We have, I'm sorry, we could not be able to do most of that. We did some of the analysis, but we could not complete. Thank you, sir. Am I audible enough, sir?
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Group number 1. All right, comments to group number 1. Comment to group number 1, please. Who is starting, please? Let's see your hands. Anybody providing comments to group number 1?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I have comments, sir.
Go ahead.
Adam Lucas.
Go ahead.
They've done a good job. I'm saying that I've done a good job by way of analyzing the data, but there are some missing components. Like we didn't get that conclusion, and we didn't even get the recommendations. And that is based on the fact that probably they didn't do a proper discussion of the results they got. So I think they need to do a proper discussion, and then they conclude appropriately and also recommend, give us strong recommendations.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Group number 7, I hope I mean group number 1, I hope you got that.
Yes, sir.
So
yes,
you
sir.
did half work, and I'm not sure what your reason was why you couldn't finish the project for 6 weeks now. I'm not sure why you couldn't finish your project, because we don't have answer to the question you posed. All right, I have Abdul.
sir.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I don't see the hand again. I have Titilayo Adedokun, please. Titilayo, can you unmute yourself and speak, please? Is Titilayo there?
Okay. My comments were not properly done. First of all, the presentation, the mode of presentation, they had to present to us in PowerPoint slides. It was just this Word document we're trying to show to us. So supposed to be in PowerPoint presentation slides. And also what they found out from their research, we didn't hear anything from that on that line, and then their conclusion and recommendation. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Titilayo. Group number 1, you got that. The instruction was that we expect to have 2 documents. One is the report in a Word document or PDF, whichever one you have. And then the second one is that the report of what you have done should then be presented in a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, or similar tool, so that you can present it to us. But you only showed us Word document, which was confusing because we didn't know where you were, which page you were. We didn't know anything that was going on there. So many texts there. You failed on the aspect of adhering to the instructions. All right. M. Abdul, please speak.
Yes, thank you. It was a good presentation. Just a comment on 2 aspects. The third aspect has already been touched on. We didn't get the recommendations and conclusions out of the study. That part has already been touched. My concern is on the choice of the statistical test. They chose to do analysis of variance. From what I heard, they did an ANOVA test. The ANOVA test ideally is used for numerical variables or continuous variables, but the variables they were analyzing were more of dichotomous variables or qualitative, like gender. So different statistical tests may need to be used there. Then also when using the ANOVA, you have to also make a comment on the normality of data. I didn't hear that component as well. Otherwise, it was a good presentation. It just needed some completion in some other aspects. Thank you.
All right. group number 1, you got that. I think the feedback will help you to finalize, because you have not finalized your project. And so we expect that you finalize the project and send us the report, and then your PowerPoint.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, I have Iken Obasi, please. Iken Obasi. All right, it's not speaking. So group number 1, we also lacked information on how you integrated reproducibility practices into your project. We didn't get information on how you integrated reproducibility practices into your project. Please, can you let us know that?
So in terms of the reproducibility of the, we try as much as possible to make sure that we subject the data into a lot of cleaning, and then without compromising the standard for cleaning the data. And that is why we are able to now, from after the cleaning, we now code the data accordingly, and then we now we define the variables, both categorical variables and continuous variable. We define it in such a way that anybody who is going to pick the same data can be able to see what we did. And then our ability to also find out the reliability test, and then making sure that we don't subject the data to any test unless we are able to establish fully that the data, the Chrombat alpha, is at an accepted level. So those are some of the reproducibility bases that we use in our studies. Thank you, sir.
All right. Let me also clarify this. Thank you for the answer you have provided. So when we talk about reproducibility, we are not verifying that you have done the right statistical test or not done the right statistical test. The interest and what we are concerned with is, and of course you have to do the right statistical test, but whether right or not, can we redo it? Can we get your codes? Did you develop some software? They call it a syntax file. Some call it for R Markdown. You have do files and so on and so forth. Did you make those? We see that you have presented from your protocol, but you didn't mention that before we started our study, we developed a protocol which was made to guide us, to guide our decisions. So every decision we have taken was outlined in the protocol, and we adhered to the protocol we have developed. And the protocol is available. And for the data analysis, our data analysis plans were made a priori, and they have been outlined in data analysis document. For instance, the codes we have used have been developed, and they are available on our syntax. So this is the language of reproducibility. And if you remember, when we were looking for the synonyms of reproducibility, one of those synonyms that came was documentation, so that whether you are present or you're not present, somebody can take your processes which you have documented and is able to repeat and get the same results you have received. All right. So since you have not finished, you're still on the way. So group number 1, you can see that you have room now to fine-tune what you need to do and do it, and then submit to us before the end of the coming week.
Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
Let's see. The next group is group number 8. Group number 8. I hope you're ready. Group number 8. I think you just presented not long ago. Who is presenting for group number 8? Group number 4, group number 2, group number 6. Please get ready after that. Kennedy Kamau, are you presenting for group number 8?
Yes, sir.
The floor is yours.
I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. So, group number 8, we're presenting a brief overview of the research environment in Africa, and with a view of enhancing research in the research environment in Africa. So, we started this study, as you mentioned, by developing a protocol that we followed in the development of the study, writing this report and this presentation. So the research landscape in Africa is very diverse. We have very many fields, social sciences, from health sciences, agriculture, environment, where people are applying innovative solutions, and these are localized solutions to localized problems. And they are leveraging international collaboration while also collaborating internally. So the contemporary advances in the research environment, where in the recent decades, there have been a surge in research outputs with global South scientists, especially from Africa, at the forefront of the field of epidemiology, genomics, and climate change, among other research, including education and transport and the likes. So this is an executive summary where we talk about the challenges and opportunities in African research. One of the main challenges is, as you know, limited funding, especially in social research. Health has been constantly getting some funding, but social research has been getting limited funding. And there are gaps, especially gaps in practices and infrastructure that they're impeding advanced research. Another issue we're facing is brain drain, where the best and the most skilled either go to school in the Western or the global North, or learn here, study here, and once they learn, especially in the health sector, then immigrate to the global North. Technological advances, including the things like AI and other things, where we are not able to perform certain studies. If someone should mute. The technological advances, we are limited in the kind of research we can do, like the collision, the Higgs particle that is done in parts of Europe. There are other studies that we cannot do in Africa because of lack of the infrastructure. So we have the strategies of enhancing research culture is collaborative funding, that is in proper use of resource allocation, using evidence-informed decision-making and evidence-informed programming, where we have people sharing, we collaborate in funding and doing the research and sharing our knowledge, prioritizing local needs to ensure that we solve whatever is local first before we think of things. Although this is a very controversial thought, because we are thinking people had to venture out of the caves to see the outside world. But we think as much as you've seen the world, we need to solve local problems. We need to build and retain research capacity in Africa through the training, such as ASFI and other trainings where we improve capacity and reproducibility. So the study objectives, we did the protocol, we designed the protocol. We designed the protocol. So the protocol design, this protocol was purposely designed for this course. And the study is to fit this particular topic that we're doing for this document. So we have a few case studies, and I'll skim through them because we want to go to the main thing. So there's a significant growth in research output in Africa. And there's a case of between 2015 and 2019, there was an impressive growth of around 10% per annum growth in research output. This might seem impressive, but we are growing from a very low number. So the very nascent stages of growth, we follow the sigmoid curve where we grow almost exponentially before we plateau when we really adopted research. The research in Africa is mostly dominated by agriculture, health. Education is not very much, but mostly natural resources and health. And we have a few factors that influence research careers, like the historical context, the availability of fundings, linguistics, like you find certain regions with certain problems concentrated in certain research, but mostly is I think the most represented is health across the region.
Group number 8, just to let you know, 5 minutes of your time is gone. So I think you should go straight to the.
Okay, we'll be there. Okay, so the few examples is thank you. The few examples we have the Great Wall Initiative. That's an African-led project that is they're planting trees in the Sahara. The mobile money and financial institution inclusion that we're doing, especially in East Africa, in M-Pesa, which is very big in Kenya. We have HIV and malaria research. We recently, especially Kenya is represented here again, where there was a launch of malaria vaccine this year, and we have talking about the technological impact of technology's impact on African research. We have a few things that are coming, like we are embracing open access. Last year was the year of open access. We have online collaboration through platforms like this, where people across the continent are able to meet and discuss issues of interest to researchers. We have digital data collection and digitization and documentation of dataset on platforms. Okay, it's going back. So we go to the methodology and overview. We employed a mixed method where we combine the quantitative analysis of the data that we shared, the secondary data that was shared from the lesson, from the course, and including scoping review for this study. There's more detail there, but I'm trying to skim through. So the demographics is that the whole 196 respondents. I think there was a bit of duplication, but the whole 190, we used the whole 196. We even tried to make it representative by using bootstrapping, but we were not able to get some method that applies for this particular study. So the ethical considerations for this, we benefit sharing, embracing data privacy and protection, and respect for our local customer and values. So I'll skip directly to we used R for analysis, and we really tried to move from the summary of the individual questions to create some sort of message that answers the main question. So the data analysis, we did a summary of the age bands of the people who responded to the study. So they have the mode being 40 to 44 years, and the biggest band being 35 to 44 years, where most of the respondents lie, the 30 to 34 years following closely. So the most common, the mode highest degree earned was the doctoral degree, followed by a master's degree, and other forms of qualifications, maybe some due to misspelling and the likes. So it was around 50-50, the gender distribution. And what we did in this study was very interesting. We were looking at the research landscape in Africa, and we decided to look at the acceptance, the utility, the use of personal, institution, and country level research for the benefit of the society against the other variables, save for the demographic variables, against the other variables, the Likert scale, to try to see how much they correlate to this study. That is the individual capacity of the individual, the attitude of the individual, the capacity of the institution, the perceived capacity of the institution, the perceived attitude of the institution, the perceived capacity of the country, and the perceived attitude of the of the country towards research. And we created composite scores from the two, where we average the score of the adoption of the research for societal benefit, and scored the other one, average the other variables to create a composite score, and then we did a correlation. We got an average that is a bit continuous and did correlation, and we saw there's a positive correlation between the outcome, that's the composite score, of the likelihood of an individual, institution, and country society being used for the benefit of the society, against the score about the perception and ability of the individual, institution, and country. So what we are drawing from this is that if we improve the other factors, we recorded two variables about the perceived inability of the individual. There are two variables that are covering the perceived inability of the individual. We look for consistency and reliability, and recorded it so that it aligned with the other variables. But we are saying that if we improve the other variables, then it is likely that the country will adopt, the individual, institution, and the country level research will be used for the benefit of the society, thereby encouraging and improving research in the country. So some of the recommendations are saying is that we could improve research through technology and local solutions. These are some of the recommendations that I can find. Due to time, I think I'll share this later. And we gave a few, am I there? Let's see, I think I've lost you. We gave a few examples of impactful research projects in Africa. Yeah, hello, are you there? So the nurturing of the future of research in Africa, we have robust institutional framework, strategic recommendation for enhancement, pathways to global leadership for researchers, embracing digital transformation, importance of resilience in research, and gave an example of research communities, resilient communities, and the likes. So if we improve these recommendations, improve the other 20-something, roughly 20 questions that feed into the adoption of research in the society. So for reproducibility, we created, I think I'll have to show this. We have the code here, and everything is documented and recorded such that if you share this and you rename the variable into this, including the clinic, the whole steps are covered here, and you can reproduce the same results that we had from the correlation from this. And that is all for me. Maybe if the other group members can chime in, including Nada and the rest of the team. Thank you.
All right, group number 8, thank you for the presentation. Let's hear any comments from anyone. Any comments, any questions? Comments and questions? Comments and questions? Comments and questions? Okay, I have Sarah to please go ahead.
Please, I don't know, maybe I got lost a bit, but what exactly was your research topic or question? Or group 8?
Group 8.
I didn't really get that. What's your research question or the research direction was from the beginning? Because it started with more or less like a lot of literature and all that, so got lost.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Can I come in?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, so the idea, we are looking at the research landscape in Africa with a view of enhancing the research landscape in Africa. And I think, I'm sorry, because of when we were compiling the slides, you might have forgotten about the objectives. But I think in the version that I'll share later, you see the objectives. But I think I'm going to skip through it. But I could read them for you if that's okay.
Well, let me follow up in that direction. Group number 8.
Yeah.
I can see that you have you thought through the research process, but honestly, it was difficult for me to really follow what you actually did. If not for the point where you got the data analysis, I wasn't sure that what you have done actually came from the survey that we sent out. I wasn't sure. I was at loss myself. And even the explanation you gave now to survey the research landscape of Africa. Are you from social sciences, or what field are you?
Yeah, I'm from social science, from education mostly.
Okay, so I think sometimes the terminologies we use when we have a forum like this, the terminology should be so simplified, because otherwise it's difficult for people to follow. It was difficult for me to get the idea, and this goes to everyone. This goes to everyone. Beyond doing the research itself, when you come to communication, then you need to simplify it, break disciplinary barriers by making it so simple. There is beauty in simplicity. And I know that every field has its own terminologies, the way they express things. But when you come to a certain like this, then you need to simplify. And for group number 8, that was an aspect that was a negative for you. You appear to have done the things well, thought about the process, integrated your coding processes, which you showed to us. But now, to tell the story of what you did, we lacked that story. We lacked the understanding of what actually was done in your research. So that was quite difficult even for me to follow. And the comment Saratu made, I don't think she was the only one who was affected in that. So when you are writing your report, please try to see how you can simplify those terminologies you have used, and be specific enough with your question. What do you want to really find out in the end? I think that will help the audience quite a lot. All right. Thank you, group number 8, and I hope the comments were useful for you. Okay, let's go to group number 4. Group number 4, before we take a short break. Group number 4, please. Yeah, David, Nalisa, the floor is yours, if you are the one presenting for group number 4.
Oh, yes, it's me presenting. All right, you can see this screen. Okay,
yes, we can see your. Yeah, we can see your screen, please.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Can you put your this in on presentation mode? It's on presentation mode. Okay.
Oh yes, is it? All right. Okay. Okay. I'm David Nalisa, presenting for Group 4, and our topic today is African researchers' perception of the global competitiveness of their institutions' research productivity. This is a list of my group members, my lovely and cooperative group members. This is the outline of our work So on the introduction, Africa grapples with many challenges. This includes inadequate disease management strategies, insufficient infrastructure, food insecurity, substandard hygiene and sanitation, access to clean water, negative effects of climate change, poverty, and the like. Data and research are pivotal to tackle these challenges. Seen in how in high-income countries, research is seen as an impactful, healthy health and heavily invested in. Africa's contribution to global research, in spite of this, is as low or as less as 1%. The rationale of this study, bearing in mind the importance of research in driving societal development and addressing pertinent challenges, this study seeks to assess and understand the perspectives and challenges faced by researchers in various African countries regarding research productivity and competitiveness. Here, a cross-sectional survey of mainly African researchers enrolled in the research reproducibility course facilitated by the African Science Frontiers Initiative from January 4th to date. The questionnaire design is as follows, as seen on the screen here. So this includes the social demographic information, including countries of origin, age, gender, highest earned academic degree, year of highest earned academic degree earned, and academic discipline, current job position, and job description or task at work. Additionally, participants' perspectives about research attitudes, satisfaction and competitiveness using 19 questions about self and institutions' research competitiveness, research output, research application for society development, and research capacity were taken using a 5-grade Likert scale. Data cleaning. A data set consists of 194 records and 28 variables. Initial exploration reviewed missing variables, duplicates, and inconsistencies that required our attention. Missing variables included 2 variables, missing values, the years earned, your highest degree, and academic discipline. The proportion of missing values was as less as 5%, and it can be considered missing completely at random, and pairwise deletion was used in data analysis. Duplicate removal, 1 duplicate was found and removed from the data set. The data type conversion, the year earned, year highest degree variable initially stored as string was converted to numeric and broken into 5 groups. That is 1999 to 2004, 2005, 2009, and 2010 to 2014, 2015 to 2019, as well as 2020 to date. Responses to the variables of participants, perspectives on research attitudes, satisfaction, and competitiveness were also converted to numeric to be compatible with statistical analysis. Data cleaning, inconsistencies, several inconsistencies in participants' answers to academic discipline were uncovered and standardized to facilitate future analysis. Also, current, post, in your job and title have many discrepancies and inconsistencies and were not considered in statistical analysis. 2 participants reported their country as Sweden, so they were removed from the data set. Data quality assessment, the cleaning process resulted in data set with improved quality, reducing the potential for biases and inaccuracies in analysis. The final data set comprises 191 records and 26 variables. Then with the statistical analysis, the collected data was entered, analyzed, and presented using the computerized statistical package, Stata SE version 11.2 for Windows Data Corporation, call it Station, Texas, and MS Excel. Descriptive statistics in terms of mean plus or minus standard deviation and range were used to quantitative data and frequency and percentage for categorical data. The chi-square test and the Fisher-Exet test were used to compare research attitude by researchers' characteristics as appropriate. The p-value being less than 0.05 was considered statistically significant. For the results, these are what the results as seen in the on the screen. Characteristics of the study participants. Others include postgraduate diplomas and postgraduate medical fellowship, physician, humanitarian development, and veterinary tab, as can be seen. With time, I think I just allow for this, for the view of the eyes. The reading may take a lot of time, but as you can see,
you have 3 minutes more.
All right, so here are the results. The frequency distribution of the study participants in countries as seen below here. There we go. So the medical and health sciences were 33 and above, and others were as follows: 18, 15, 14, 8, and the lowest was 1.05. So the researcher's attitude for satisfaction and competitiveness. The overall researcher's attitude, satisfaction, and competitiveness of African research score ranged between 8 and 62, with the mean of 36.05. Most researchers had negative attitudes, that's 63.87, and were neutral, only 6.2% had positive attitudes. There were no significant differences in the proportions of research attitudes by participants' characteristics. That can be seen in the group which shall be sent. Also, this table, the research capacity also shall be sent on the group based on this time we have, as well as the research application for societal development shall be sent. So the conclusion, African research is fairly unsatisfactory and far behind local and global competitiveness. Development initiatives that accelerate and support research and research-based education in Africa are crucial to build a solid foundation for research, increase research capacity, and enable institutions to provide valuable trainings and develop sustainable research opportunities in Africa. These are our references. Thank you for listening.
All right, thank you. Group number 4. Please comment to group number 4. Let's see your hand. If you have any comment to group number 4. Comments? Okay, I have Zubari.
I want to applaud the presenter for presenting their research, their protocol, but however, the work lacked the story, and it also lacked research objectives. We did not tell how, because you were first towards data analysis, the frequency, but we didn't see how the objectives related to that and those questions. Thank you.
Okay, Zubari, thank you. Your line was very unstable, so I don't know if group number 4, you got his observation.
couldn't get it so clearly, but
maybe
any group member has picked it up and may comment on it. Thank you.
Zubari, I'm not sure whether you were asking that the your system has some noise that is obstructing us hearing you properly.
Oh, okay. You hear me now, Will?
We can hear you now.
Okay. What I was saying, I applaud the researcher the presenter for presenting the work, the mini protocol, but it lacked objectives and it lacked a story. So we could not see what led you to get that data analysis. So data analysis was there in detail, but we could not see where you came from, the story. Yes, thank you.
All right. Group number 4. Did you get that now?
Yes, sir. Can I comment, sir?
Please do so. Who is commenting? Who promised to comment? Please just do so. We don't have time.
I think the person commenting has the
My problem is with the fact that there's us.
All right.
I have a
Pascal. Pascal, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. From your data cleaning, you said you removed all missing data and wasn't part of the analysis. But when you showed the graph with the occupations or which parts of the field they're working, I saw missing. So I was wondering what that was referring to.
Pascal, your system was also noisy, so I don't know whether your comment was clear.
When he was doing the data cleaning, when he was presenting data cleaning, he said he removed all missing data and wasn't part of the analysis. But when he showed the slide with the various work occupations of the respondents, there was missing there. So I was wondering what that was referring to.
Yeah, so group number 4, I think that should be easy for you to respond to. Can you do that quickly?
Yes, I think that is part of the social demographic characteristics. If medicine is showing there, it means that data is adequate during the course of data cleaning. So medicine is part of the occupation of those who responded to the research questioning.
It was missing, not medicine, missing, M-I-S-S-I-N-G.
So his question is that you indicated when you are cleaning the data that missing data those who had missing data were removed from the analysis, but when you showed your demographics, you also had a category called missing. All right. So I think group number 4, yes. You have to look into that and then correct that if there is any abnormality there. All right. Finally, let's hear from Abdul Hamidou, please.
Thank you, sir. My question is, he concluded and then we didn't see the recommendation. That's just it. Thank you.
All right. Okay, group number 4, you got the point, the comments your colleagues have made. How did you, I know you have shown how you analyze your data, but how did you integrate reproducibility aspect into your analysis?
I think we have observed.
Can we access your codes? Do you have your code somewhere we can access?
I think we thank you for this observation, and we'll be able to clear the message there, and it shall be sent to the group within the coming week. We shall correct the discrepancies there. Thank you.
Yeah, but do you have your codes, group number 4? Do you have your analysis codes?
Yes, we have. We have.
Do you have a protocol on this?
Yes, we do. We have a
Okay,
protocol.
so but you didn't mention that.
We integrate it. It was not in the slide. I think that was an oversight, but we had. Very...
Okay. Yeah, I think was it Pascal? No, it wasn't Pascal that was asking. There was another person who was asking that what was your objective. I think the objective was clear enough in their presentation. The objective was clear. All right, let's take a 4-minute stretcher and come back 10 minutes past the hour, and then when we come back, we will call group number 2 and then group number 6. So let's come back 10 minutes past the hour. Stretch your legs and then let's come back again. And please remember to mute yourself if you are not speaking. Remember to mute yourselves. Then we have lots of noise coming in here. All right, group number 2, the floor is yours. Who is presenting for group number 2? Group number 2, who is presenting for group number 2? Please go ahead.
I'm here.
Your time is ticking.
Thank you very much, Prof. My name is Evaristo Kunka, and I'm representing group number 2. Our topic this evening is factors influencing participation and collaboration in scientific research across science disciplines in Africa. Wow, so what do we use now? Okay. So scientific research is becoming more collaborative and multidisciplinary over the years. And this is very important because it gives us an opportunity to kind of address the different challenges that Africa faces. However, studies have shown that there is a minimal knowledge generation in sub-Saharan Africa attributable to collaborative activities. And the state of collaboration in Africa has been described as being in its infancy or developmental stages. So to ensure scientific advancement and improvement of the quality of life in the African communities, there's need for us to understand the factors that influence participation and collaboration in research across different disciplines in Africa. In terms of the statement of the program, globally, there's a growing interest in research collaboration among scientists, and this is because of the potential benefits that accrue as a consequence of these activities. However, the benefits include availability of resources to foster research, increase in the profile of researchers, and also knowledge generation through collaboration. However, in Africa, collaborative activities have not developed at the same pace as the rest of the world. And this has the potential of stagnating development, as there will be inadequate homegrown and reproducible solutions to the African challenges. A knowledge of factors that influence or limit scientific collaboration in the African setting would significantly contribute to finding solutions to the current status. However, our literature search found very few studies that considered factors that limit collaboration among researchers in Africa, and therefore, These remain largely unknown. The current study, therefore, was aimed to investigate the factors that influence research collaboration in science on the African continent. Our aim for this study was to investigate the factors that influence participation and collaboration in research across the African continent. The specific objectives, number one, was to characterize the demographic features of the current researchers in Africa. We also planned to determine factors that enhance participation in scientific research among African scholars. Number three, we were to evaluate the existence of collaboration opportunities in the African setting. And last but not the least, to evaluate factors that act as barriers to effective collaboration among researchers in the African setting. So in terms of the rationale, they're studying the factors that influencing participation and collaboration in scientific research in Africa is very important for advancing knowledge, enhancing Africa's global scientific contribution, and addressing inequities and fostering socio-economic development. This research provides insights into unique challenges within diverse cultural and regional contexts, allowing for the formulation of tailored policies that encourage collaboration and overcome participation barriers. By identifying these factors, efforts can be directed towards human capital development, including talent cultivation, educational support, and mentorship programs.
5 minutes more.
Sorry?
You have 5 minutes more.
Thank you. Our methodology. The research team developed a mini protocol. A cross-sectional study was conducted among African researchers. A questionnaire was used. The questionnaire was constructed to investigate factors influencing participation and collaboration. It comprised both closed and open-ended questions, and the population for the study was African researchers, while the sample was drawn from scientists participating in the ASFI reproducibility course that was conducted in 2024. Inclusion and exclusion criteria was as indicated in this slide. In terms of data analysis, we had a plan for the analysis, which included data cleaning, data filtering, data analysis using Microsoft Excel, and the presentation of results. And the details are given just below there. So in our analysis, in terms of the population of study, the sample was equally distributed with 50% representing males and approximately 50% representing females. In terms of the gender distribution, obviously there were, as we can see in this graph, there were more males. Sorry, the age group in 35 to 44 was the highest represented group. And coming down to the qualifications, we see that the master's and doctoral were the commonest qualification that was represented. And of interest, we see that women were more represented in the category with doctoral qualifications. In terms of discipline, we see that the health sciences were represented more compared to the other professions. Background, more than 50% agreed that they had a background in research, and about 40% said they were neutral, while a quarter did not have a background in history in research. Similarly, in terms of competition, approximately about 50% of the participants felt that there was a lot of competition in terms of institutional research. And this was also a similar finding in terms of competition in the field. Competition on the global scale, similarly, approximately just above 50% felt that there was just below 50% felt that there was a lot of competition on the global scene in terms of research. In the interest of time, I'll just run through the other slides for the results. Okay. And we now get to our discussion. In this study, we found that the younger population were more involved as researchers, and this was considered to be a good factor for Africa, as it shows that we have a growing population that is going to be more active in research as we go forward. Secondly, there were more male scientists in our research compared to females. However, females actually had the higher qualifications and therefore had more potential to produce a lot of papers. And this was similar to a study that was conducted in the Netherlands between 2003 and 2005. There was also a discovery that productivity of male researchers has grown faster than that of female researchers. Our research also showed that more than 55% of participants have personal, institutional, and country quality research output, which are important factors in increasing percentage of participation. And also we noted that just above 50% of the study participants felt that the research quality at both institution and quality level was of high quality. And so this we felt was a little bit on the worrying side. And we also felt that collaboration has the potential to improve the quality of research being produced by institutions. And therefore, scientific collaboration has the potential to solve the complex scientific problems and promote various political, economic,
30 seconds.
Sure, thank you, such as democracy and sustainable developments. These benefits typically include access to methodological expertise and valuable new data sources, as well as opportunities to increase both academic and real-world impact of research findings. Lastly, although reports suggest that the quality and quantity of research output from institutions in Africa has greatly improved, the researchers in Africa are still not very satisfied with the current output of research. This may be linked with the limited financial resources, support, and the lack of enabling environment facing most African researchers. Reports suggest that among other continents, Africa's contribution to research and innovation is still very low and is as low as 1 to 2%. And
all right, I will stop you here. Africa, I will stop you here. I will stop you here, group number 2. I will stop you here.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, I think that was our last slide.
Yeah, any comment for group number 2? Please raise your hand, let me see you. Any comment? All right, Oche Innocent, please.
Okay, that was another good presentation, but let me start with, I overheard the presenter talking about constructing a questionnaire, but I thought the questionnaire or the response we all use was from the response of the questionnaire shared early on of this training, ASFI training. And I also heard him talking about formulating that they draw up a sample size or so. And it forced me to ask what statistical formula did they use, if they did, to draw up such a sample size? Because I thought this tax is straight from the responses we gave in the course of this, or to the questionnaire, the course of this this training, was the responses that were made.
Let's. I think that those were perhaps slip of tongue. Every group used the questionnaire that we provided, so no group made a new questionnaire, and it was not possible to do sample size calculation since you already have the data with you.
Yeah, very
okay,
true, Prof.
Gustavus, please.
Totally agree. Sure.
Gustavus, please.
Yes, Prof, thank you.
Gustavus, we're waiting for you. We don't have time.
Okay, it's okay now. I'm sorry, it was misbehaving. Sorry about that, the computer. Thank you, presenter. I find the presentation, the group was very, very organized in the flow of the presentation. That was very good and encouraging. I don't know whether this is generic, Prof, or not, but when the presenters are moving from the objectives to methodology, I thought that one would address objective by objective in how they go about it regarding methodology. Another observation I saw was the presentation of the graphics. I saw at some point you used that must have been a bar chart or a column graph. It was so long, I thought maybe you needed to use an appropriate graph given the data that you had, something like that. I submit, Prof. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Group number 2, I hope you have taken note of that to improve your presentation.
Well noted, Prof.
Yeah.
Yes, well noted.
All right.
We'll address it as we review the document.
All right, let me call on group number 6. Group number 6, who's presenting for group number 6?
Aye.
All right, please go ahead. So you have 10 minutes, please.
Okay. Are you seeing my slide?
Not yet. I think it's coming. It's not showing yet.
Okay.
Yeah, you can put it on presentation mode. We can see it now.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I am Veronica Enya from Group Zambi, presenting on behalf of Group 6. Our project topic is level of research skills among African researchers and globally competitive research outputs. This is my presentation will follow this outlet. Africa contributes enormously to the world population, and most countries in Africa are said to be growing. But this has not mirrored in the research outputs published by Africans. And research is very critical in the development and productivity of every nation. Higher educational institutions invest little in research and on their students because of limited funds. African countries' total budget for research has been insignificant. The spending on research and development in sub-Saharan Africa stood at 0.4% in the year 2018. And this leaves many young Africans poorly equipped for career in research. This study assess the level of research skills among African researchers and globally competitive outputs. For our objective, we want to assess the current skills among researchers in Africa, identify gaps in skills that may hinder global competitiveness, provide recommendations for enhancing research skills, examine the level of globally competitive research output by Africans. The study is a retrospective questionnaire based, and there was a protocol developed for the study. Study population were African researchers based in Africa. Participants, inclusion of criteria, participants of ASFI 2024 reproducibility course. Exclusion criteria, non-African researchers. For sample size determination, it was already determined by ASFI. A sample size of 191 was provided by ASFI because it was a prospective study of an existing data. For ethical approval, ASFI gave us the approval to use the database for our study. For data analysis, our data was entered and cleaned using Excel statistical package version 2021. And the analysis was carried out using Python 3 library. It was used for descriptive data analysis and chi-square tests, analysis of the responses of all the questions in my research and I questionnaire, and the results were considered to be significant at p less than 0.05. We migrated the data from the Excel, Microsoft Excel, to Python data software. The outline for data cleaning were to identify if there were missing data, identify if the data were typed in the correct data type, identify if there are duplicated data, then delete if found. We identify if words were properly spelled. For data analysis, we replaced, we made codes, and for the illustration of data analysis plan, frequency table of all data.
5 minutes to go. 5 minutes to go for you.
Okay, these are our results. So we assess questions that are relevant to our objectives and our research questions. And this continues. Then we discovered that we concluded that there is no level of global competitiveness research output in Nigeria or in Africa. And we recommended our research also agrees with the reports of previous studies. And for recommendation, we recommended deliberate mentoring as demonstrated by Catherine Winchester. And these are our references. Thank you.
All right. Group number 6 was the fastest group to present. All right. Let's hear any comments to group number 6. Any comment to group number 6? Comments, questions? All right, Gustavus, please.
Thank you, Prof. I was curious to find out why did this group opted for Python and left other data analysis packages? What was special about it? Thank you.
You really want to know that? Gustavus, you really want to know that?
Yes,
because it can be
yes,
used because it is one of the programs you can use to analyze data.
Okay, it's not very obvious.
I can defend them on that because we didn't make any requirement of what you should use, any program you should use. So what is available to you? Python is usually free for most purpose. So if you have that available and you have the skill to use that, why not? Okay, group number 6, can you tell us how you integrated reproducibility practices to your project? Do you have a protocol beforehand?
Yes. Yes, we have protocol. We have protocol, and we have our Python outputs ready to show anybody. Yes.
Okay. So you will include that in the report you'll be sending us during the coming week.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. The next group, the last group I will call back now is group number 5 that started before. I will call you back. Please get ready. Just to mention, everyone, you can see that I have not put effort to discuss the appropriateness of the methods people have employed, the statistical analysis, the results, and how the results were discussed. I have not discussed that. And the reason is that that is not a primary focus of this presentation. We have other courses that deal with those different aspects. For instance, the issues of data analysis and software issues that we cover in the data analysis course, data analysis and software course, and then issues of presentation, results, and so on are covered in the art of scientific writing and publishing. So here the focus is on adhering to reproducibility practices. All right. So group number 5, please, I will give you 8 minutes to finalize your presentation. The floor is yours. Your time has started, group number 5. Put it on presentation mode, please. Thank you. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, our topic is on gender gaps in researchers' perception of the competitiveness of their research productivity and satisfaction with their level of research output. On behalf of Group 5, by way of introduction, research outputs and contribution to knowledge remain a very important metrics to assess scholarly mastery. And then pressure among researchers remain a common challenge. Academic research, productivity, and career satisfaction are very important in that they can impact the quality of scientific outputs, individual well-being, and of course, progression of academic careers. Recent studies have actually suggested that potential gender gap exists, whereby female academics report slower research productivity and opportunities when compared to their male counterparts. Few studies has quantitatively examined both productivity and satisfaction together. So what is the problem? There remains a substantial gap in the literature regarding comparative outcomes between male and female academics, especially in Africa. And there is need to maximize talent, increase diversity of thought and innovation. There also exist barriers in productive, satisfying research careers, and these hinder both individual careers and institutional level scientific outputs. This our study intends to provide data to start quantifying key indicators around research outputs and satisfaction by gender among African academics. Our objective, we have 4 objectives for the study. We wanted to assess satisfaction levels with current research outputs among African Science Frontiers Initiative participants. We also determined association between gender and satisfaction with current research outputs. We also assessed perceptions of individual level and institutional level research quality and productivity. We also determined if there are gender differences in perceived research productivity, both individual and institutional. Our methodology. We used, the study was an analytical cross-sectional study design. Our target population are all the participants of this current ASFI reproducibility course. Our research instrument is a secondary data obtained from the ASFI data set. Data analysis was, our analysis was done descriptively and inferentially based on the set objective using JAMO v2.4.11 version. Ethical consideration, permission was sought to use the data set. Informed consent was waived because it was secondary data. No personally identifiable information collected in the survey was used, and this is to ensure confidentiality. In our study, we also tried to ensure reproducibility, although the detail of this will be contained in our main report, but we tried to have an open data. We did our analysis was also transparent, and the results are also available that we will also submit. We also use standardized protocols that we also submit for peer review, and we also will encourage replication of this study to independently verify the original findings. Our results. This result is just showing the age range. From the graph, you notice that the age range of 40 to 44 was more. Gender, we have equal number of males to females. Then our first objective was to assess the satisfaction level of current research outputs. And we noticed that majority, 41.2%, disagreed with this, that they are not satisfied with their level of current research outputs. Our second objective was to determine an association between satisfaction level and gender. We noticed that for the females, actually, males have more satisfaction. Then for the third objective, we assess perception of individual level and institutional level research quality. And we also found out from the Fisher's exact test that just very few agreed to this. The fourth objective, we wanted to determine if there are gender differences in perceived research productivity. And there was, from the research, there was actually, the significance level was quite low. More than 1/3 of the okay. Then, in conclusion, most participants disagree that they were satisfied with their current level of research outputs, like I've said already. There was no difference between the current level of satisfaction between males and females. And there is statistically significant association between quality of institutional research outputs and quality of current individual research outputs. There's also association between the association between gender and individual research productivity has no significant association, and no association exists between gender and institutional research productivity. What are our recommendations? We recommended that in policy making, especially in the institutional level of research, should be strengthened by improving individual level of research. We also recommend that research output should be based on productivity and impact instead of promotion for job. And we also have ideas for further studies, and these are our references. Thank you.
All right. Any comment to group number 5 from anyone? Any comments? Let's see your hand if you have comments. Okay. Group number 5 has already indicated that they followed the reproducibility practices. They made a protocol, and then they have their codes, which they promised to put in the main report. All right. Unfortunately, we didn't get group number 3 to present. Well, we will see what they will have to say in the right time. So thank you to all the groups that have presented. The goal of this group project has been to allow you to think through. One thing is clear, some of you are still at the foundational stage of learning to implement the research. This is a good opportunity as you start establishing yourself to integrate the skills and the knowledge that you have received from this training, so that you can go forward doing well. And then there are those who are at the advanced stage of the research. It's not always easy to change habits that have been formed. Sometimes it can be really painful. Sometimes it can be quite challenging. But for progress to be made and for us to do things in the right way, I will encourage you to take the pain. I will really encourage you to take the pain. As one of the nuggets showed, it says that reproducibility is like brushing your teeth. Once you learn how to do it, then it's quite easy. It's quite easy to continue in that direction. So I will encourage you to take the pain that is there to revive your research career. You will love it. You'll be happy with it. Africa will have a good name. And I think that we will do research that will have impact, because that is the focus eventually. So I would like to thank everyone for coming to this course, and I'll just ask that you give me a few minutes to conclude now. So this is where we started. Please mute yourself if you are just joining. Mute yourself if you are not speaking. We started here that our continent lags behind in almost all indicators of development and scientific outputs. There is no doubt about that. It's not something we fight over. That is the absolute reality, unfortunately so. That is where we are, but we can make a difference. And across the world, what has been making the difference is research. Research. You cannot underestimate the the role of research. You can't underestimate it, and you mustn't underestimate it. Because when you do research, then you move from knowledge consumption to production. All right, it increases your innovativeness, and then development will follow. Because once we do research and do it well, the product of it can then be translated to provide what the society needs to grow. What we have done in this 6 weeks has been to encourage you to do your research and do it in the right way. So the course you have done has been provided by the African Science Frontiers Initiatives, and then we provided you the underlying motivation why this organization has come to be, and that is to support African scientists in their journey towards doing research that will make impact. So it's a capacity building platform in every ramification. And so that is why our mission is to raise the next generation of African researchers who have the right competencies to drive Africa's developmental and transformational agenda through innovative scientific research. It's very important, and this is a personal choice. If you want to grow, then you have to take the necessary steps. If you want to remain at a place, then you also have necessary steps you need to take. The economists tell us that life is full of choices. But I believe that participating in this course, going through the pains, making these presentations you have made today is a sign that you want to do well, you want to grow. And we will do our best to support that process. All right. So we have our mission, and it is important that the research we do contributes to tackling our developmental challenges. So when you do your research, think of impact, think of the value that your research brings. So we presented the different activities we have within the platform, and I believe that you have been taking advantage of this and joining us in those activities. For those who came late, I showed this, the second edition of the Science Seminar Series for 2024, Innovative Research in Africa and the Urgencies, is now open for registration. The event will be on the 25th of February. So please register, invite your colleagues, invite your institutional personnel to join so that we can all join our hands together to move our continent forward. The seminar series for this year is very important on innovation in research. Dr. Warren's Research Tips and Tricks, second edition for this year, is actually the 23rd edition overall. What scientists do, a call for special virtues. This does not require registration. You can join with the link provided. It's on the 1st of March, 2024. So please do well to join us. Yes, if you finish this course, and then there is another course that you shouldn't miss, systematic reviews and meta-analysis. I promise you, like this course did, is going to take you to another level. It's a course that changes lots of perception. I think this course will be important for anyone. So please join us. We'll learn doing meta-analysis with both SPSS and Stata during this course. So please register and join us. And then the other course that is also open for application, quality, productivity, and impact. We have talked a lot about that, even in this course. During this course, you will really see the dimensions that is required to produce an impactful piece of research. So please join us as we take you through thinking about quality and impact throughout the research process. And to just mention, this course is the lowest course for ASFI. So you have really no reason to miss it. For those who go to Chicken Republic, I tell you, this is nowhere close to how much you will spend there, or McDonald's or other places. So please just do your best to join this course. I tell you, it's going to be very helpful. And then we have sent information about the various discounts that are available to this for non-members of ASFI. If you're not a member, although we encourage you to join to be a member, I think you receive quite very good discounts to attend the courses. These are members discounts that on the offer for the courses. So please try to take the opportunity. And you have information on how to become a member, how you can register and pay a membership list, membership fees. Please take advantage of that. All right, we have sent information. Please evaluate the course. I think it's only a third of you now that have filled the form. A third of you. Please do us good to tell us how the course has gone for you. Some of you have filled, some of you have complained, some of you have expressed your disappointment in the course, some of you have expressed your excitement, some of you have expressed your disappointment with your group members, and so on and so forth. Send those information. None of them is worthless. We are going to continue to use them to improve. And then for the 3-minute video evaluation, this is important for us. And we'll contact you. We'll contact those who have chosen to present the 3-minute video evaluation. We'll contact you. So please, when we contact you, we would like you to do it for us. We'll put it on our YouTube channel, and that has been a source of motivation for those who have not attended to decide whether to attend or not. So we will contact you, and I hope that you oblige our request to do that. All right, I think the final point before I open the mic for you to speak, those who want to speak this evening before we go, is that we still need participation in the research misconduct in Africa survey. We still need participation. If you have not filled the questionnaire, please, it takes only 10 minutes. We have talked so much about Africa, and you have given some interesting results just based on the participants in this course. So you yourself responded to that. For instance, those who have looked at satisfaction of African researchers with regards to their personal performance, you can see that there is really a huge gap on how where we are and the need to improve. And this one is another one that we believe that is going to help us. Please fill it in, and then inform your colleagues. We want as many scientists as possible to take part in this course, in this survey. So we will circulate it again. We'll circulate it again on the platform, and I believe you're going to complete it for us and circulate it to your colleagues. All right. So if you want to open your video now, I think it's time. You can open your video, you can open your mic, If you want to say something, I will hand over to you. So please, we have a few minutes. But if you want to speak, if you want to share your experience, if you want to express your disappointment, you can do it now as well. Just open your video, open your mic, raise your hand, and I can recognize as many people as possible before we end. Please do that. Okay. Just raise your hand. I have Iwo, and then followed by Abdul Hamidu. Iwo, please, the floor is yours. Make it snappy. Don't take too much time.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I have enjoyed the lessons we've received, and I thank you for that. Now, my question is, what becomes the fit of our research, our nuggets, and everything that we have done within this this project? Thank you.
No, what is your question with regards to those?
I want to find out what becomes our fit of all the proposals, the little researches that we've done, the little themes that we've worked on, and so on and so forth in the course of this project.
What do you mean? What do you mean by your fit?
The fit of that is what is the outcome of all what we've done in this project?
Yeah, so the first one is I mean, that is your personal assessment. Have you learned what you need to learn?
I've learned. Yeah, I thank you for that. I appreciated the course. I said it was
all right,
very useful for me, and I've asked I've asked a follow-up question.
Then the second point is that the nuggets and the project will be compiled, and then we'll put on the Google Drive form. So if you want to have them, you can pick them from there. Then the final thing is that a certificate of participation is going to be given to those who, as we said from the beginning, who have faithfully participated in the course. And that is assessment based on the attendance as well as the report from the group coordinators. We are going to put this together, and then we'll compile the certificate. But I have just to say that you should be patient with us while we do that, because we had almost 300 of you joining the course. So it will take a bit of time to put everything together before we release the certificate. But for those who have done all that they are expected to do, you get your certificate and will inform you when it is ready. All right. Okay. Abdul Hamidu.
Thank you very much, Prof. My question is a rider to his own question. I was just trying to say, is it possible to get some of the protocol that are good to be published in the ASFI journal? That's number one. What protocol? I mean the proposal and the presentations. That's
all right. Well, our expectation is not that this should be published. It should be for the project, for this course, because what we have here is not representative of the landscape of Africa. So publishing it will not be very meaningful because it's a very selected group. If you want to do this for publishing, then it needs to be opened up beyond the participants in this course and get a larger audience to participate, and then there's a possibility then of maybe doing it for publication.
Okay, right to that side, is it possible to domesticate it to a particular institution? with the following the research ethics by seeking permission from ASFI and the rest of them. Then a quick one, sir. I want you to appeal. You see, some of this presentation were done just like you've seen it, and it is because there was some little heat in terms of cooperation among members of the group. So I want you to appeal, make a passionate appeal to all the members of the group that are not forthcoming to please cooperate, and then let's move it forward. Thank you.
Well, we have done that, and today is the last day of the course. That is why we have the group coordinators. If people are not responding, then it means that they are not interested in this. So they will be denied the certificate of participation. So the group coordinators need to give that information of those who have actively taken part in the group activity. So we don't need to chase anybody. Okay, we don't need to chase anybody. People who are interested in taking part, they should take part. Those who are not interested in taking part, they will not take part. I hope that we have money, and then we can reward those who took part. And then if it comes with reward with money, then you see that everybody will take part. Okay, but now there is no, what we have is certificate. Those who want to get a certificate of participation, and of course, this is just beyond the certificate anyway. I think if you are interested in improving your skills, then things like this are important, and particularly the group participation is very important because it helps us to grow. You learn things from each other and to improve your own skills. So, but if people are not doing it, we can't force them. We can't beg them to do that because when we accepted people into this course, we asked some questions whether people were committed to the training, and the people accepted yes that they will. And if they come not doing that, then they have not kept to their commitment, and we can't do much about that. All right, I have Charles.
The issue of domestication.
Okay, so what you mean by domestication is that you want to conduct the survey in your institution.
Exactly.
You want to use the survey to conduct in your institution.
Exactly.
Okay, so the survey was developed by ASFI. I think there could be improvement in it. And of course, when you are using it, there may be some variations of things you may want to modify. You can freely use it. I think you can just indicate to acknowledge that this questionnaire was developed by ASFI and has been adapted to your local situation. So that I don't think there's you don't need to apply to use it. It's freely available. You can use it, but just I mean, that is what we get in academia. Make acknowledgement that ASFI developed this and we have adopted that, and that's enough.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I have Charles G, please.
Okay. Good evening, Prof, and my fellow participants. Mine is a word of appreciation. Prof, I must commend you for your guidance and for the way you've handled this course during these 6 weeks. I must say that I have learned a lot during the course of this program. And we Africans, you see the problem we have in Africa, I think research reproducibility is part and parcel of the problems we have in Africa. And I feel we've learned a lot, which we are going to share in our various institutions. And Prof, I must tell you that you know that Africa has a problem of funding, problem of research, and so on and so forth. So please, I must implore you to make more of these courses available to academics in Africa and beyond. Thank you very much for the way you've handled this program. We're very grateful. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Of course, some institutions actually subscribe to this, subscribe it for their staff, and then we have been involved in training some staff of institutions, and I think this adds value to what those institutions are doing. Yeah, once in a while like this, we open free trainings, like free courses, to those who are interested. We did it for the first 3 years of this organization. We offered all our trainings free of charge. And during that period, we trained more than 1,500 Africans from over 40 countries. I think we'll do our best. We'll do our best. The only problem is that to a large extent, many Africans don't appreciate things when they are free. They don't appreciate it. They don't see it as valuable. And that is not a good attitude, because for this particular course, there were around 1,100 people who applied from all over Africa. And because we couldn't take more than the number we have taken, we took only 295 people. And doing that means that almost 800 people were not taken. And we indicated, if you are not attending the course, let us know so that we can invite those who would like to attend. And so you can see the attitude. I don't think we have exceeded by any means each class. I don't think we have exceeded 170. So it means that lots of people did not take the course, did not inform us, and those opportunities were lost for others. Now, when we started last year, we put some cost to it, and then people say, why can't you make this course free? Why will you charge to do that? And of course, we have made it free, and people don't take them opportunities. It takes us a lot of things, a lot of energy to organize this course, to run it. And so for us, many of you appreciate the effort, but not everybody does that. That being said, we are not discouraged. We are not discouraged by any means, because we have been doing this and we are determined to play our role by any means that we can, to support scientists in our continent. And that is why this year we have reduced the course fees tremendously to enable people. In fact, I wouldn't call it a course fee. I think it's just a signal of commitment. When you pay $40 for something, you pay $10 for something, then I think you'll be more committed to that thing than when it is given to you free of charge. So we think that with this commitment fee, people will be able to subscribe to the courses, and then they'll be committed to attending those sessions. All right. Thank you very much for that. I have I see Ifeoma Waka. Did you want to speak? I see you opening your mind. Do you want to speak or not? Okay. I have Mfom Clement Wooten, please. Mfom Clement Wooten, I see your hand up. Mfong Clement, do you want to speak? Please unmute yourself and speak. You can unmute yourself.
Okay. Please, are you hearing me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. I want to say thank you, most especially giving people like me the opportunity to join this course. Why I say people like me, yes, we are all in the academic field, but it's not every one of us that are fully in the system. We are just like part-time ad hoc. So coming to like pay for the course is something that seems impossible for us. But I must tell you, I really appreciate. That is why I don't even miss a minute to join this class, because I feel it's a privilege to be here. So I appreciate and I say thank you. It's not that I wouldn't have loved to join subsequent classes, but I must say that affording to join is the problem. But I appreciate all that you have done, and I must say that I've really learned a lot, and I'll still take it back to at least my institution, to the people that I'm also teaching, to learn from what I've done. Thanks very much for everything, and I appreciate every member of our group. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, thank you very much. I see on the other hand, Uchechi Blaze. Onekachi, please. Uchechi, can you speak? We're not hearing you.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, good evening, Prof. Good evening, every participant here right now. I want to appreciate you again, Prof. I've made advance in my career, and I know ASFI has always been part of it. I joined ASFI, the courses have been very impactful, and this one is one of them. So I have to speak just to encourage you again, just to encourage you not to look at the attitude of some of us. I think it's because we're just starting as Africans. Many of us have issues with network, power supply, making use of our laptops, and a lot of issues. So please keep up doing your good work. I know God will bless you and move ASFI forward. Thank you.
All right, thank you for those encouraging words. Honestly, we are not discouraged by any means. No. There is no discouragement at all. We made a decision to do this, and it's a decision we have to keep. No discouragement at all. Okay. All right. I see Mercy Tinta. Mercy Tinta, please unmute and speak. Mercy Tinta, are you there? Mercy, I see your hand up. Do you want to speak to us?
Yeah.
Mercy, unmute yourself and speak, please.
Sorry, thank you. And good evening to you, everyone.
Good evening.
This is my first time of joining this group, and I'm a fresh graduate. I really appreciate it. I didn't even know I'll be picked to join this program, but it's a nice experience I have, and I've learned a lot about this. And I'll have more knowledge if I want to enter into research, what I'm supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do. So I really appreciate for the group adding me to this course. I've learned a lot, and what I can say is may God bless all the hands that came together to create this society. Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, I don't see any other hand. Is there another person who wants to speak, who is not raising their hand, so that I don't close? Okay, if Roma Waka, you want to speak, please.
Yes, sir, Prof. Good evening, everybody. So I just want to appreciate your and patience in handling us. Human beings very complex to handle. I want to thank you for being there for us. This is a hidden secret that most people don't know. Knowledge is power. You have impacted us. And may I say I need more? Because a lot of intricacies in research that are just unveiled to us, that if not that I joined this course, I wouldn't have discovered most of these things. So I will beg, you know that our home, Nigeria in particular, is full of fraudulent research and all the negativities connected with research. And we are not being encouraged by our government. I don't know how much you come to our level to open our eyes and impact us the better and more. Many are hungry like me who need this knowledge, but where will it come from? That God has sent a Messiah. And thank God we are in Nigeria, and you know what I'm talking about. Father, I want you to sort of help us and how to help us to come out of darkness and come out of illiteracy. Pretending to be graduates, but yet lack the substance and the usefulness of being a graduate. So, sir, I don't know. You think about us and how to help us. And secondly, I want to request that is it possible to get a compiled book or ebook on these things that has been done, so that we can read over again and again to to sort of learn more and better.
All right, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Yeah. So I think for the first point, we are here. As I mentioned earlier, we have several other courses we are organizing. So please take advantage of those. I tell you, those who have followed us and have taken all the trainings we have done, there is a change. There is a very, very huge change they can experience. So we will keep doing our best. But there is a saying, I don't know if this originated from Africa, that a tree cannot make a forest, So we need support from you. We need you to be there so that we continue to do what we are doing. We are out to fill this gap. It's a skill gap. And I know that many institutions in Africa are not providing that opportunity in terms of some of you, when you attend trainings like this, you pay for yourself. It's not always the case in many places where I am. I know since I left my country, Nigeria, that is 21 years ago. I left after my bachelor's. I went to universities in Europe. I've never paid any dime in my education since ever. The last I paid to go to university or go to school was when I was in my country. And even when I was doing my PhD studies, I traveled abroad to take courses in different universities. All those were free of charge. Even in my current job, the university organizes different types of trainings, invite external people or send us out. Those are covered by the university. Many universities don't have the opportunities. Unfortunately, the burden of paying for this type of capacity building trainings are on the staff, people like you. That is not the best situation, but that is what it is. We recognize all this, and that is why from time to time like this, we open it free for people to attend. But this takes a lot for us to organize. We have staff that are working on this, organizing things that we pay. We have platforms we are using. to organize this, we need to pay, we need to subscribe to that. So some of these fees that we get, we used to take care of those things that require, these expenses. That is why, if you, for instance, the next course we are going to run, the systematic reviews and meta-analysis, I think it's about $40. That course here, because when in March, I'll be teaching that course here, people will come from different parts of Europe. How much they will pay, depending on which country, but at least 2,000 euros they have to pay to spend 5 days. That's what they pay, and that is what it is, to participate in those courses. So making it $40 is a giveaway. It's not something that can, when you come to that course, then you discover that it's a course that will change you, as this one has done too. So we do that to see how we can settle some expenses that incur when we organize these courses. All right, so we'll keep doing our best. For ebook, I can't promise that. All the materials we have used are available. The recordings are on our YouTube channel, so you can access that. And the materials that have been used, the references, everything are also available on the Google Drive folder of the course. And please pick them up. Writing the book, why I can't promise that is that it will take some time, and I can't give it any priority at this time. Perhaps we can do that in the future, but not really at the moment. All right, I have Hashim Mohammed, and I saw Eunice later, but Hashim, you go, then we can ask Eunice whether she still want to speak. Hashim Mohammed.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
As the former speaker rightfully said, I'm really going to be Oliver. After thanking you and thanking you and thanking you, I will also ask for more. I want you to please see the possibility of liaising with some universities here in Nigeria and NUC. Even if it is going to be a form of online summer school for some selected PhD students. Because what I learned these few weeks I have been with you, sir, I don't want to be an albatross, but I will say it's like I retook my PhD journey. And I want others coming up to also benefit from your vast knowledge, because to be truthful with you, sir, I'm a change researcher, entirely change researcher. And I want more Nigerians to see what research means. And it can be done and some universities to see the possibility, even if it is online summer school for some academics, that you can co-chair. The NUC has the capacity to do that, sir, if you can lead the way. Sir, I don't want it to stop only on the ones you are freely giving us for $40. Let it go beyond here. Let more people get knowledge, applicable and beneficial knowledge from you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I will even tell you, sir, because I don't want to miss this class, I have been driving from Kaduna to Zaria. Right now, I just entered Zaria, but I joined online because of the benefit I'm driving from this class. I connected it via Bluetooth to my car stereo. So thank you, sir. May you and your family continue to be blessed till kingdom come. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Hashim, for that. Yes, yeah, I mean, we'll be happy to liaise with any organization, any institution that is interested in what we are doing. We have had MOUs signed with some institutions. We have had different levels of agreement also signed with institutions. But one thing that I wouldn't promise ASFI is there. We have a lot of things we do with some institutions, but the experience I've had is that if institutions are interested, then we'll be happy if they come to us than for it to happen the other way. And that is because sometimes there are lots of bottlenecks, bureaucracies, and really difficult situations that if we focus on those so much, it delays what we are supposed to do. But if some of you are in strategic positions and you think what we are doing will add value to what the local institutions are doing, like you mentioned, NUC, yeah, I mean, invite us, we discuss and see how we can contribute, but you know, pushing institutions, no, that is not what we want to do. Otherwise we still continue to do what we are doing. As I said earlier, we are here to stay, and we will continue to offer these trainings going forward. And I believe that it's going to grow from strength to strength, and we'll be there in the future. So please reach out to us if you have opportunity, what we can do, and let us know. All right. Eunice, did you want to say something before I call it a night?
Yes,
I think some people want to watch
yes, Prof.
South
Thank
Africa,
you very much.
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Prof. I am just excited because I've seen so many new people in ASFI, people who have attended ASFI courses for the first time. And it seems as
So
if
Eunice, let me stop you there. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry that I didn't introduce Eunice properly. This is Dr. Eunice Ponze from Bele. She's from Cameroon. She is the ASFI General Assembly president. So I'm sorry I thought you wanted to speak about the course, but now I know where you're going, so it's better to introduce you properly. Please continue.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. And I really thank everyone for the appreciation they have given to the endeavors that ASFI have for Africa. I realize that there are so many people who are attending for the first time, and it seems as if they don't even know that ASFI membership exists. So it will be interesting for you to become an ASFI member, and you will see that some of the things you are begging Prof to do, they are already doing it for Africa through those who are already members. So I call on those who are interested to, the year is early, to register, become an ASFI member. You gain a lot of discounts, and we have much mentorship programs, and most of the programs that we have in ASFI are, we gain free training, and discounts are very good, and so on and so forth. So I really want you to get this information that ASFI membership exists, and for both PG students and postgraduate and all researchers, we are all learning a lot. ASFI is really doing great for Africa, for researchers in Africa. So thank you very much for being part of us already.
Thank you, Eunice, for that. This is quite important for those who want to grow their skills. I know there are many young ones here. One of the things Eunice and her team are doing is that last year we organized a very successful conference and boot camp. And those who attended, I think many people joined ASFI following that conference. So they have started already now planning for the conference for this year, because the conference will be Ajibola, please. Some are asking for the membership link. I think she will be able to post that on the WhatsApp group of the course so that you can have it. If you want to go to the website to register, we'll put that there. So now they are planning for the conference this year. Is coming in the end of November. I think that is the 26th to 28th of November or so. I'm not certain if I get the date right. But what is happening now is that the planning has started, and within the ASFI membership platform, they have sent invitation to those who would like to participate in the committees. Many people participate in different activities and learn. This platform is capacity building. So the door is open if you want to learn how to organize committee. Those who organized last year, when we were doing the appraisal of what happened, did you learn new things? You can see it's fantastic to see people, wow, it was really, we didn't know we'd be able to achieve this, but I've learned how to do these things, how to fix this, how to fix that. You learn how to plan events from that angle. And there are different other activities that the platform offers. Honestly, what I am doing in ASFI here is something that I have dreamt for almost 15 years now. But the COVID offered opportunity. And while I have interest, I told you earlier, since I left my home country, I've never spent any time to go to school. So it's funded, it's fully funded for me. And that gave me opportunity to learn a lot of things. And then I discovered that I can also contribute. There are many of my colleagues who do not have this opportunity to be in the position I was. So the role I can play is to support in that way. So I started having that urge and motivation to do this. So I got involved in a lot of activities through my trainings, and some of these activities, you do not know unconsciously the skills are coming in. By getting involved unconsciously, and one day those skills begin to manifest. You use them because you have done it over and over and over again. You begin to manifest them. But the point I'm making is one of the best ways to grow is joining activities, collaborating. And that is why those who did not join their group work, eventually they lost, because it's for those who are into education, perhaps. But one thing I've observed is that some skills, some knowledge are learned unconsciously. But because you're involved in those activities, you gain them. So the ASFI membership, General Assembly membership platform gives you the opportunity to get involved. Eunice is the president. Uchechi, who spoke before, is the vice president for communication, isn't it? Sorry, I couldn't get totally, but yes, yeah, communication. So there are several ASFI members who are even in this course, and they can testify. Uchechi was telling you at that time that since they started joining ASFI programs, it has helped her career. We have mentored people here through our platforms to even get grants. I remember some years back, one of our colleagues from Sudan, he has tried a lot of times to get the World Academy of Science postdoctoral grant. It has not been successful. She attended our grant training, and then we supported her, mentored her, and then she tried and she got it. She got it. There's some from Nigeria who have tried the TED Fund several times, coming to our trainings, with support from us, the skate. So it is through interactions like this you are able to improve. So I encourage you, do your best, join the platform, and not only to learn, you can also contribute. Those who are senior in or advanced in their career, you can help in supporting young ones. Is give and take. Many of the skills I've developed in my career were based on supporting the young ones. Honestly, many of teaching and supporting the young ones. I love that because it's give and take. I give and I am also able to learn. All right. The last person before we go is Oluwole Banjo, please, from group number 4. You will be the last person, and then I will release you. I know some of you don't want this to end this evening, but I want it to end. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prof, for this beautiful and well-educated program you gave us. We have all learned, and I've learned so much. The language I speak to my students has changed completely, and now they like, I'm disrupting the whole thing, but they don't know I've learned something different. So my presentation, my talk to them during our research discussion has changed completely. So thank you so much for this. Well, many of the participants have said that perhaps you should come to meet with universities, institutions in Nigeria and do presentation. But for me, I think I want to suggest this, that some of us should start teaching our members of our research group some of the things we have actually learned. The way you have impacted to us, let us start teaching them also what we have learned. Let us start with our research group, move to other members of our department. By the time you start speaking a different language, they will know you have learned something. And when they see the importance of what you are discussing, they will also learn from you. We should also join you in building capacity. We shouldn't leave everything to you alone. We should start teaching members of our group and our community. I will advise us to invite our group members, people from our institution, to join the ASFI presentation online group, rather than telling you to come and start. You know, Nigerian system, the way it works, when you start coming out and begging them that you want to do presentation, we can start it from our own end, and if we have problem, we ask you to guide us on how to do it. That is the way I would rather prefer to do it. So let us join you in spreading the gospel of ASFI, so that more people will come online. So that, because I don't want you to lose focus. The way you have been doing it, let's continue doing it. You don't push knowledge to people, you seek for knowledge. If people feel they are interested, let them join online, register for all these courses you are doing, and let the gospel grow. Thank you. This is my own view.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that point. And that was actually the foundation where we started. Because sometimes in the past, when we were organizing these courses, we have received as many as 2,000 applications in some of the courses. And then we select. And what we always preach is that we give you and we expect you to take it back. Share it so that it spreads. They become a light. There's one of our alumni from Kenya who, after each course she does, she partakes with us, she applies for funding, and she will run that course. She will come back to me and say, "Oh, I did this and I ran the course. This number of people participated, and that is good to hear." You know, so yes, I agree with you. I think that is the way it should go. If you remember, the first day we started the course, I called it Scientific Revolution. So it's a process through which you gain, you share, you gain, you share, and there's transformation that is happening. The knowledge you have gained from this course, take it back home, and then begin to change your research group. Bring these issues. There's one thing that I don't like in my life, in my career. It doesn't matter wherever I have been, is the status quo. As far as I am under this heaven here, I believe that the rules we have formulated for ourselves, I have always grown up to say, is that the only way this can be done? I don't like status quo. And I tell you, there are always many ways to achieve those things we pursue. And so I am a change agent. And if I do something, if I've done it over and over again, I want to say, for those who have attended the reproducibility course before, you can see that a lot of things changed. And that is why we encourage you fill in the evaluation form, because we like to improve. I like to improve. So take the message back to your research group. Begin to share the ideas. It's not easy. It's not easy. There will be resistance. There are people who will want to stay where they are, but remain steadfast. When they begin to see the results that is happening to you, goodness me, people will begin to change their mindset. It looks like somebody really wants to speak this night, and I don't want to deny her that opportunity. Even though I've said it's the last one, but this will really be the last one. If anyone down there, please make sure you are the last one. And if you have anybody coming after you, remind the person that you are the last one so that we can go.
Okay, Prof, thank you so much. I want to say this. I want to say that you've opened my eyes. I am a better researcher now. I am a better student now. I am a better teacher and a better lecturer. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. And thank you, Prof.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for attending. And we'll end it here. I wish you a lovely career as you go. And if you're joining us in other of our programs, welcome. Have a good night. And I hope some of you here are cheering Nigeria for tomorrow. Otherwise, enjoy the game tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you, Prof. Bye.
Yeah, good night, Prof.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
God bless you.
Good night and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Prof, hope
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Prof.
Bye.
You have done well for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Prof.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. Great weekend.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Thank you.